Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. How everybody doing today? It's a little nippy around here. It's 26 degrees here along the coast. We are here in the New York area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and along the beautiful southern New England coast between New York and Boston. And it's a little nippy because it was like 65 degrees 2 days ago and sunny. And everybody was out cycling and everybody was doing their thing. I guess winter is still trying to hang on, even though spring is technically here. So, yeah, you make the best of it, right? We're here. We've risen. We're alive. We're in good health. And hopefully you are as well. Thanks for joining us. This is our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series that we started back in April 2020. We're approaching somewhere around 650 episodes live 7 days a week. I cannot believe that. And I just got to thank all of you again. I know I do that. I try to do that as much as I can every episode. But I have to thank you so much for all the love, the support, everybody enjoying what we're doing here, this community that we've created. We don't really call this just an interview show. We call this an entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, bringing back the lost art of conversation, sort of with the old school style of Regis and Johnny Carson and Cavett and some of the greats, with a modern twist, modern vibe of today, using some of my TV and radio background and sprinkling that in to what we're doing here on the Jim Masters Show Live, and bringing all of you in as well, too. You have the ability to comment live during the show. That's right. We have a chat section that's now open, and all of our lovities, and that's what they're called because I said the show has a lot of light, love, and levity. Said it too fast a couple years ago. Well, it's almost a couple years ago because we're going to be celebrating 2 years of this series in late April. And I said light, love, and levity too fast. And I said lovity. And that's how it was born. So they're the Lovity Squad. They call me Mr. Lovity. This is Lovity Hall. Our guests are part of the Lovity family. And again, we come out of the United States and we have an international audience. We're hearing from France and Portugal and Greece and Japan and Australia and Sweden and Finland, Ireland, England, all over Italy. It's really beautiful. It's really in Canada, of course, here in the United States. We've heard from Mexico, Brazil, Argentina. It's absolutely Thailand, South Africa, of course, and so much more. Really, really fantastic. An amazing guest joining us. Yes, the Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer-songwriter, longtime vocalist with SNL, the Saturday Night Live band, and so much more. Spectacular career with her band. Matter of fact, she's going to be going on the tour, headed to sunny South soon, which is going to be really, really nice. We're talking about Christine Ohlman. Oh, yeah. If you've never heard her perform, you got to catch one of her concerts. She's absolutely the best. She really is fantastic. We're going to welcome her in just a second. Now, gang, if you would like to comment, you can chat with one another, the other lovities who are watching right now live. We also see your comments. Our guests see the comments as well, which is fantastic. We have an exclusive thing that we do for subscribers to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV. Easy enough. And just click that red subscribe button. Very easy. There's no cost for it as well. Just click that button. And then you'll see a little notification bell sort of icon next to the subscribe button. Make sure you click that so you never miss the alerts, the updates on all the episodes, all the conversations, the lovity, the special on location episodes, the guests, and everything that we do here. So there's what that button looks like. It says subscribe. Click it on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Click the notification bell, and then you're in. You're part of the Lovity family here on the Jim Masters Show Live because we've created an amazing community. Everybody talks off air together. We've created a lot of incredible warmth from this series. It's just been icing on the cake for me, and really, really beautiful. So thanks for the support, all the Instagram posting and tweeting about our series, all the Facebook messages, the emails, all the support. You can also support the show during the show in live chat with our super chat, super emojis, super stickers that we do. That's available in chat as well, and that helps support the show. And also, we have a little heart that is under every episode on the YouTube channel, and that's called Thanks. And some of you have done that. You click on that, and that helps support the show as well. So we love all of you, and we thank you so much for all the love. And again, we're about to kick off an incredible episode. We've got music, we've got great chat, and so much more with our very, very special guest. I see a lot of comments coming in here, gang. Keep them coming. Again, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you have the opportunity to comment in live chat exclusively here. So Christine is here. We're very excited, and we're going to chat with her in just a second. I want to tell you a little bit about her. If you know maybe just the periphery, you've known this a long time. Christine Ohlman, aka the Beehive Queen, known for her mile-high platinum blonde hairdo, and it's all ready to go tonight too. It's the current longtime vocalist with NBC's Saturday Night Live band and one of America's undisputed queens of rock and soul, whose 6th critically acclaimed CD with Christine Ohlman and Rebel Montez, The Deep End, was honored on numerous national end-of-year top 10 lists. Christine's live shows with Christine Ohlman and Rebel Montez, Cliff Goodwin and guitar, and Michael Colbert bass, and Marco Giorino drums. And I mean, some of them have worked for names like Joe Cocker, Robert Plant, Band of Joy, Tom Jones, all legendary for their fiery musicianship and their superb storytelling. Christine is an inductee in the National Blues Hall of Fame of American Heritage, as she recently took part in 2 days of filming in the Boston area with the blues greats from around America, filming a documentary on the late, great bluesman James Cotton. Her voice graces Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you know that? Absolutely. And a guest vocal turn with the Rolling Stones on their classic Cut Out of Time. Christine landed the top female Americana vocalist honors on the Alternate Roots International Readers Poll, as she shares top slots with the Mavericks, Rodney Crowell, Paul Thorn. And she's fresh from the pre-COVID appearances on stage in New York City with Bonnie Raitt, Keb Mo, Trombone Shorty, John Baptiste, Paul Schaefer. Of course, you know John Baptiste with Stephen Colbert on CBS, and Paul Schaefer, of course, many years with David Letterman. At the Paris Conservatory and the Royal Academy, with the Sessions panel on the SNL 40th anniversary broadcast and post-broadcast concert at the Plaza Hotel, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, multiple appearances on the soundtrack for the HBO series Vinyl, including a duet with Elvis Costello, the Carnegie Hall tribute to the Rolling Stones and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction concert in Cleveland on HBO, the W.C. Handy Festival in Muscle Shoals. She's going to be heading back soon to Muscle Shoals, and she's really excited about that. She's been a special guest there of the Blind Boys of Alabama, and led an all-star Shoals tributes that included Bonnie Bramlett and Candy Staton and other Southern Soul greats. Her numerous studio and live collaborations encompass Grammy-nominated recordings and so much more. And she's worked with some of the greats in the industry. Really, it's incredible. She guests on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the inductee and legendary Rolling Stones producer Andrew Loog Oldham's The Allo Orchestra Sings the Rolling Stones Songbook Volume 2, named Coolest Record of the Year by Sirius XM's Little Steven's Underground Garage, and on and on and on. She's also a noted musicologist, if you didn't know, record collector, was one of the original contributing editors to the All Music Guide, mixing a fiery brand of rootsy Americana with an old school soul music flavor. She serves up a style that's been dubbed by SiriusXM's Dave Marsh as contemporary rock R&B. And for her live shows, Christine, she brings the musical table songs from her 6 CDs plus 2022's The Grown Up Thing. She says, "I've come here to set your souls on fire." And she does. And we're so honored to have her here on the show. I just want to show you something. She and I met originally, and we've stayed connected ever since. And there we are. I was actually the master of ceremonies with, I think it was Kristen Crusado, who's from the ABC affiliate in Connecticut. And we had a blast. And there is our beloved guest tonight, Christine. And that's at the Celtic Rock Festival. I was emceeing. She was a headliner. And it was it's a great outdoor event. And it was really absolutely spectacular. Really, really cool stuff. So she's joining us tonight. And we're very excited to have her here. Put your hands together, gang. Let's welcome the one and only Christine Ohlman to the Jim Masters Show Live. Christine, how are you, my friend?
Jim, what a great memory that is. That was with our friend Larry Kerwin from Black 47.
Yes. And you know, you look exactly the same. I don't know what it is. Whatever water you're drinking, I want some.
You know, Larry's show just opened on Broadway. So
that's right.
Paradise Alley. Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we met. Wow, I love that you have that picture. And hi, everybody.
It's all the lovelies are here. Yes.
Freezing. That's all I can say.
26 degrees. I know. What the heck happened here?
If I was at my other place in New York, I'm sure it'd be like 1 degree warmer.
So how have you been, my friend? You know, it's been, we were just chatting before it live on the air. It's been a crazy time. You know, we've had to adjust to be flexible and sort of work through some craziness. And how have you been? How have you stayed, as I usually ask a lot of the guests lately, how have you stayed creative and connected, collaborative, and sort of sane, semi-sane maybe?
Just by what we're doing right now. I mean, without the internet, I don't really know what we would have done the last 2 years, Jim. You know, we immediately shifted with Rebel Montez. We immediately shifted into live streams and live stream performances. I did some really heartfelt charity appearances via a Zoom. And I don't know how we would have just kept going. I really don't. But we did, you know, and then gradually in my end of the business, it began to come back to some drive-in shows outdoors where people never got out of their cars, and then they started getting out of their cars slowly. And, you know, the whole thing was very bizarre at first, and then it became kind of second nature.
So you've been adjusting, you've been doing your thing, which is fantastic. I'd like to step back a little bit. You grew up in New York City, and, you know, at a great time when all of these girl groups and all of these great acts were really coming out of New York and elsewhere. What were some of the inspirations for you to pursue music, to pursue the arts? Were there others in your own family that were musical, or did you grow up in a house where there was a lot of different kinds of music playing, Christine?
All of those things. My father played piano by ear. My mother was a trained dancer, and there was always tons of music in our house. My brother and I, my brother Vic Steffens, who owns a recording studio in West Haven, Connecticut, Vic and I started a little baby garage band. And, you know, I was the chick singer, and we began playing, and we landed a record deal. And I was still in high school when we had our first record on the charts. So from there, we just kind of kept going. My parents were enormously supportive, Jim.
That's great.
My dad was the one that drove us around, and, you know, our basement was the one where we rehearsed. I could never really thank them enough. You know, our basement was where we kept all the equipment. You know, it was that kind of, and our rec room. Our first gigs were at teen centers and small church events, CYO dances back in the day. And then we just moved on. You know, we just kept going. Both of us are still very much in the business, and it's been a joy. It's you know, my life has been a joy.
There's something in the water, I think, in West Haven, Connecticut, because Nick Fradiani had his band Beach Avenue in West Haven, and he ends up winning American Idol.
Yeah, his dad and my brother grew up together. So yeah, it really, I mean, what else can you say? There is something in the water. Connecticut has a very, very, very great history with rock and roll. Bands, you know, from bands like the Wild Weeds, and, you know, I work now with Big Al Anderson. I'm in his band, and that's just an amazing full circle, you know, thing for me. So lots and lots and lots of great stuff. I know your viewers are from all over the world. But shout out to Thailand, by the way. That's all I can say. But, you know, in this part of the country, rock and roll was very vital and very much going. Oh, the Lovitties. Look, the Lovitties are so great.
Patty says good vibes.
Yeah, hey, Pidgey. They're weighing in. Yeah.
They're all weighing in. Merlin's in Canada. Hello.
Oh, how
and Sherry's in Kansas, USA. Yeah, they're all chiming in. So, and Nikki's here from the West Coast as well. And Linda's here from St. Augustine, Florida. Beautiful area. Good evening, Mr. Lovety. Good evening, Lovedies. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Welcome, Christine, to the Lovety Squad show. Say the Lovety. Gary, good evening, Jim and the Lovedies. And that's great. Yeah. Thanks for these great comments. Keep them coming again. So then you sort of said, hey, you know, I want to pursue this. What steps did you take, you know, growing up in the city? What were some of the first things that you were able to do that really started to get the ball rolling for you, where people really started to notice your talent and your enthusiasm and your passion and your tenacity, you know, your desire not to give in, not to give up, and the resilience, which isn't always an easy thing in these industries, but you sort of build it. What were some of those things that happened early for you that really got things rolling early on in your career?
Well, early on, you know, my brother Vic and I were just lucky. There was a woman in town where we lived, and she knew a producer in New York whose name was Bob Shad. And the next thing you know, we get trucked down to New York. We're certainly too young to drive. Yeah. We get trucked down to New York and meet this guy. And he'd produced Ray Charles, and he had a label that Janis Joplin was on early on, Ultimate Spinach, the Amboy Dukes with Ted Nugent. And so we end up being the baby band on that label. Wow. And at the same time, we're opening for the Wild Weeds and clubs where we were nowhere near old enough to be, you know. But so it starts in Connecticut, and then it morphs into a band called the Scratch Band. And at first it morphs into a band called Fancy, and then a band called the Scratch Band. And with the Scratch Band enters this person, George Smith, G.E. Smith. And that's where I end up making the connection eventually to the Saturday Night Live band.
Yeah, sure.
That's where I end up eventually making the connection to the Saturday Night Live band. But through it all, you know, I just kept studying and collecting records and trying to find out more about all kinds of music. Eventually, I started songwriting. I didn't songwrite really early on, but eventually I started songwriting. And sure enough, the next thing you know, there were records coming out, and GE was calling me to do a gig for Lorne Michaels' wedding, and which I didn't even know when I accepted the gig. I didn't even know that's what it was. And that
you must have been pinching yourself, saying, "Wait a minute here. I mean, this is a legendary television series, beloved on NBC. Some of the incredible talent, musical talent, and comedians and actors and actresses, and the crew." I'm friends with the floor director, Gina, who's always there. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. If you see her, tell her Jim Master said hello. She's terrific. And I love when sometimes they do after they do a skit, and they're going to break, and then they sort of pull back and they show the wide shot. You can see her running around directly.
Once in a while, quick. Does nothing but run around, honestly. It's a thankless job, but she's wonderful at it. It's terribly, terribly stressful, but she's wonderful. It's a truly live show without a 7-second delay.
I worked on a national PBS special with her, and she was doing the same thing, and she was incredible. I mean, she was on it, and when things would go wrong with a camera or something, you know, technical, she would like reinvent the wheel on the spot to keep the thing flowing.
She never loses it. She can't lose it. That's why she's had the job for so long. You know, she can't lose it. She has to be unflappable.
So this was a great opportunity for you then.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And it really came to me because of my record collection, because GE and I had kept sharing songs. In fact, I just saw him about 5 weeks ago. I stayed over the house. And in the morning, we just talked about records. We just talked about records and old, really historic music. That's something that we're both really deeply interested in. So it was just kind of a sliding into it. The band were amazingly welcoming. And then the following week after the wedding was the beginning of the season. Yeah. In late September. And Lorne Michaels walked over to GE and looked around the stage and said, "Where's the girl?
Where's the girl?"
And that was me. And, you know, and he said, she was great. Ask her to come next week. So
Oh, that is
really
so,
that simple. Yeah.
that's incredible.
But from that, Jim, I would say to anybody that wants to get into the business, I mean, and you would say this too, I know, is networking is everything.
Yes.
Your reputation precedes you.
Yes.
So build your reputation, be honest and forthcoming, and be gracious to all your fellow artists and in whatever line of the arts you're in, and something wonderful can come of it. And in my case, it certainly did.
Absolutely. You know, as you were coming up the ranks, who were some of the artists that you were, you know, not necessarily aspiring to be, but you really admired some of the groups, some of the artists that sort of maybe aided in the look and the sound and some of the things that you really connected with early on?
Dusty Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
Almost exclusively. And then, of course, we talked a little off air about the great Ronnie Spector, the late, great Ronnie Spector from the Ronettes,
Yes.
who we both know personally. And Ronnie's towering Beehive was one of the inspirations for mine. But
Yes.
Dusty Springfield's love of Southern American music was something that I really connected with. You know, I'm deeply embedded in the scene in Muscle Shoals, but also the scene in New Orleans, and to some extent Nashville. And that music I've collected that music all my life and studied it.
Yeah.
Absorbed it, you know. So I would have to say that I really felt a connection with Miss Springfield for that reason.
You did, yes, which is fantastic. I mean, another incredible legend. But now with Ronnie, you got a chance to meet her as well multiple times, right?
And work with her. And
to work with her as well.
I was a Ronette. There were, you know, a couple of women with me for charity shows or something, and we would learn all the parts. She showed up at a couple of my gigs in Cafe 9 in New Haven. I think they still talk about it. She asked them to bring her a hamburger, and I think they couldn't run out the door fast enough to get her one.
She liked the hamburgers, yes.
Yes. And so she came to it, showed up at a couple of our shows, and then we stayed in touch. I guested at one of her Christmas appearances at the Mohegan.
Oh, yes,
fabulous
right.
memory for me. A fabulous memory.
And the Wolf's Den. Yes. Yes. And she'd be all decked out in the Santa outfit. And
it was wonderful. It was just wonderful.
Sleigh ride. And I did a tribute actual episode of the Jim Master Show Live that's on the YouTube channel. And I pulled up a few photos with Ronnie. She really was something. We sort of got each other. You know, we had a lot of great conversations about the craziness of the industry and everything that you've got to go through. And I mean,
well, of course, she escaped, you know, and ended up in a wonderful marriage, and she escaped Phil Spector, you know, so she certainly had a very unique perspective on that. Absolutely. And she talked about it to some extent, very philosophically. You know?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's right.
Very philosophically, Jim.
Yeah, I think there's a new book. I think her book's being revised, and there's a new movie coming out too. And
they're working.
Zendaya is going to play Ronnie. And there's a you see the resemblance too.
Yes, absolutely. She's and boy, when they would come on stage, that was really something. This little girl was very taken with it. I don't mind telling you.
And you were originally from the Bronx, and she was from Spanish Harlem. So, you know, really not that far.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, so that's really cool. So the big linchpin was meeting GE.
Yes.
And having that whole, and when was that? I mean, because you've been with them
I started with SNL in 1991, and I'm still there. That show, that event for Lorne was in 1991.
Was in 91.
Yeah.
So being a part of the Saturday Night Live band, how did that change your life maybe in ways that you would never have predicted or expected, Christine?
Well, just to be able to say that you are, but also mostly the working with that band is a total joy. It's one of the most wonderful bands. Every player is a virtuoso in his own right. And they're also wonderful people. So, and I get my entire book with them is what we call deep Southern soul music. Lenny Pickett, who is the musical director now, is also an aficionado of that. He came out of Tower of Power. So we just do, you know, everything from obvious things like Tell Mama by Etta James to some very, very obscure Southern soul is in that book. And it's just wonderful. It's one of those things you could never have predicted. I certainly could never have predicted it.
That's really incredible. It's,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of if people are discovering you for the first time,
Yeah.
even though you've been doing this and you've been really, you know, working your tail off for
Oh,
years,
sure.
how do
Yeah.
you, I mentioned in the introduction, but how do you describe your sound and your vibe? What can people expect when they listen to Christine's music or go to one of her concert events?
Yeah. I just say it's a rock and roll with a soulful twist. You know, it's not the blues by any stretch of the imagination. It's bluesy maybe, but Dave Marsh has dubbed it contemporary rock R&B. And I think that's really, you know, he says to me, you know, you're like Bruce and you're like Southside Johnny, and I put you in the same category. And I think that really is true. It's guitar driven. What I do is guitar driven, but it's also very soulful. However, when I'm out on all these all-star appearances,
Yeah.
that's more out and out, you know, a show. And I'm really like, as with the SNL band, I don't play guitar. So it's really more of a, you know, Beehive Queen extravaganza, soulful.
Oh, I've experienced it,
That's what I would
and
say.
it's really, they don't want you to leave the stage.
You
I
know,
mean, they're like, they, you know, it's really feel good, and it just, you're really, and you're a talent that's all in.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You give 110%. You know, you
Oh,
go the
really?
extra mile. You're having a good time. You're really tell us about that when you are either in the studio or you're on stage or even on SNL. When
Mhm.
you're doing your thing,
Yeah.
what's happening to you? Are you in a zone? Like for me, when I do my thing, I say I'm in a zone, all
Yeah.
cylinders are firing. Even if I look very calm, cool, and collected
Yeah.
inside, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, and I'm loving every second of it. Same
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, yes. But you know, my thing really is connection with the audience. So whether they're perceived audience, I mean, of course, at SNL, we're lucky to have a live audience to relate to, but I'm also projecting outward. Always, 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 I want to make that soul heart connection with the audience. I want to tell them the stories of the songs. And that, I think, is something that makes it easy because it kind of takes the onus off of you and puts it out toward them, you know. um, I do voice coaching, I do vocal coaching too, and I'm always telling my students it's really the audience that's important here. If they weren't there, you wouldn't even have a gig. So, you know, be sure that you're really, really paying attention and singing to their emotions and their hearts from
Right.
your own heart. And I appreciate what you said, Jim, because I am all in. It's a deep end for me or it's nothing. And that's the way it has to be for me. I can't go into it halfway, and I know you don't either.
No, no, and it's one of the reasons why I love what I do. It's just to really get in there and you know, make magic. We actually have a video here we want to show, which is kind of cool. We got a couple of different ones here, but this one is Love Make You Do Stupid Things. Tell us about this one. I
Ah,
want to give them a sample right away here.
sure. I mean, you as a songwriter, you know, there are people say, you know, I slaved over this song for a year. No, this one came out in about 20 minutes, the lyrics, and I already knew how I wanted the music to go. So I
What
wrote it
inspires you
myself.
when you create? What do you are you an observer of life? Are you pulling from the day-to-day events? What are the things that spark you to sit down and pen to paper and work it all out?
I'm writing mostly about emotional ties and emotional things that happen between people, and not necessarily at all about myself. but sometimes about myself. I'm not really the kind of a songwriter that comments much on world events. There is a song on the deep end called The Cradle Did Rock, which was written at the first post-Katrina Mardi Gras. And that's commenting on my darling New Orleans, as they say. But most of the time, my songs are just about people and what happens when they fall in love or fall out of love.
Yes, right. And a lot of things can happen.
Yes, they can. And some of them are stupid. So
yes, yes, they are.
Where this song came from, Jim. Yeah.
Now you know, gang. See?
Yes. Do you loveities love make you do stupid things?
That's it. Here's Christine Ohlman. Enjoy, gang, and we'll be back.
All
Lots more
right.
coming up. That is cool. That is cool. I love it. I love it. It's really, when did you do that?
Oh, that was right after the deep end came out. But that's our friend Eric Roscoe Ambel at his club, the Lakeside Lounge, and over in Avenue B down in the city, in Alphabet City in Manhattan.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Maureen in Arizona says, wow, I'm feeling the lovity.
Yeah. Hey, Maureen.
We're reaching all the way out to Arizona. Nikki says, cool, Jim and Christine.
Oh, that's
Merlin in Canada says, Rebel Montez. Yep. And Tony's here and says, my girl.
Oh, Tony. I know Tony. I just saw Tony. Tony handles all our merch on the live gigs.
Oh, does she really?
And the merch.
Oh, she works hard.
Yes, she does. Hey, Tone.
Wow, on the video from Nikki and Jen Barry's here welcoming you too. Kathleen in New York. Kathleen's in New York City. It says great voice. Absolutely. Really cool comments coming in here.
Lovely.
Toe tapping, claps. That was fabulous. Wonderful. Mary's watching in Florida. Cool stuff. Yeah, really, really nice. Hi, everyone from Tony. Joan Santos says that was great. Christine. Yeah, some lovely just coming in live here.
Love it, you loveities.
So what's the schedule like with SNL, with Saturday Night Live? As far as you and how do you work it with your tour schedule, your recording schedule, and their schedule, you know, at NBC? How does that work for you?
It's only 20 shows a year. That's all. It's 20 shows a year, and we're only there on Saturday. I mean, we used to be there on Friday every once in a while recording things, but that hasn't happened in a while because they built a recording studio on the 8th floor. So we just record things on Saturday if we need to. So it's not like being in the Letterman band where you're there every night or even every week.
Yes.
And you get a schedule at the beginning of the year. So you really know exactly when the shows are going to be. And, you know, you're off from the end of May to the end of September, to the very beginning of October, usually.
Right. They go into the re-airs and exactly.
Yeah.
Or
it's a long days when you're there, but it's not a lot of weeks. It's less than half. I tell people it should really be called Saturday Night Half Live. Not even because it's a lot of weeks. It's a rerun.
What are there a couple of episodes that are some of your personal favorites that you can recall, Christine, of SNL?
And I mean, I've seen so many. You know, people ask me, well, you know, my favorite memory is we had Paul McCartney on, and it was the first time he'd ever been on the show. And he has an apartment in New York. So he was there, and Chris Farley was still alive. And McCartney played a lot of extra songs. He did like a sound check for just us in the studio. And then he began playing all these other songs like Lady Madonna, different songs that he wasn't going to perform on the show. He was just going to do two the way everybody does. He wasn't going to get extra songs because he was a Beatle. And he started to play Hey Jude, and Chris Farley looked over at me and said, will you dance with me? And we waltzed around the studio while Paul McCartney played Hey Jude. And that's maybe my number one hands down favorite memory. I'll never, ever forget that. But many, you know, there just have been many, you know, wonderful hosts and different skits that we've participated in. John Maloney, when he's there, we have these Broadway type skits that we do with him, big musical numbers, you know.
Yes.
Some of the some of the jingles that I've sung, Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
What's up with that with Kenan Thompson? It's just, I mean, the thing of it is, it's always different, and there's always something different happening.
Yes.
There's a llama that comes around. The llama is kind of a tradition. It's a live llama, and it can often be seen hanging around the hallway. It gets in the shots. They bring it across the hallway. And
is it somebody's? Is it Lauren's or?
Llama wrangler there. The llama they build a little pen for it. And you can go over and pet it, and because it's the same llama. It's not two different llamas. It's always the same llama.
One.
For years and years, the same llama. Wow. And so it's stuff like that. I mean, you couldn't make it up if you tried. It's too good. It's just too good. Yeah.
So and you've had an opportunity to meet so many people that have come through, that have hosted, that have played.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you get to spend a lot of time with them because they're running around like crazy. You might see them in the hallway and nod or say hi or something. But I will say I was getting a cup of coffee once, and Bruce Springsteen came up behind me and said, "Where did you learn to sing like that?" And I turned around and I said, "I don't know. Where did you?" And that's a good answer. He said, "Probably we listened to the same records." I said, "I'm sure we did."
Yeah, that is really
kind of thing. Yeah.
So do you have playing an instrument, writing the songs, singing, is there one that speaks to your heart first, Christine?
Well, I think singing without question. I've been singing since I was a little girl. My parents were very, very lovely to trot me out in front of the relatives at every gathering and let me do my little songs, and singing always, never, ever have I had a minute of stage fright in my life. And I guess I'm just lucky that way. And I'm guessing you're the same, where we just, we're on stage. It's just like being an extension, right, Jim, of what we are doing anyway. And you walk out on the stage and it's just, you're in a different place, but it's the same.
Yes.
So playing guitar was something that I picked up later so that I could write on guitar, and songwriting as well. So, but singing my whole life, really singing.
Are there other genres that you've been thinking about delving into and exploring that are grabbing you as time marches forward? Others that you're like, I think I want to take a stab at that. I'd like to, slide into that a little bit. Is there any of that?
I do a roots gospel show with a section called the Sin Sisters. And we work at a wonderful theater called the Katharine Hepburn in Connecticut. We also
Old Saybrook.
The Cape, We also work at a festival in Rhode Island, and we bring this. It's called Sunday School. It's roots gospel, and I'm also going to do it. I do it at the Americana Festival in Nashville in September. This will be the 5th time, and with different singers in Nashville. But so it's songs like "I'll Fly Away" by Hank Williams, and gospel songs by Percy Sledge, people like that. "People Get Ready" by Curtis Mayfield's, that kind of thing. Then I'm working on a show with my dear friend James Montgomery, who's a wonderful blues man from Newport, Rhode Island, but originally from Detroit. And it's going to be called Talking Soul. And it will be a semi-unplugged 90 minutes where we talk about different blues artists and soul artists and play their songs in a sort of a stripped down format. Yeah. We both love to talk about the music, and we will take a little bit more time. We'll probably it'll have a stand-up bass and probably an acoustic guitar. So maybe somebody who plays acoustic guitar and mandolin or something. But it'll be part of this James Cotton movie that we did was a stripped down night where they filmed us. They had cameras on dollies going all around us in a circle. And people like the great Curtis Salgado from the West Coast. And we were all there singing songs like "Fever," by Peggy. James Cotton had a wonderful version of it. And we were singing those kinds of songs, very stripped down. And so that was really where the seed of that idea came from. And thank you for asking, because nobody ever asks me that. Thank you.
My pleasure. I knew there was a reason why I'm here.
Thank you.
Oh, no, Yeah, I think it's wonderful when you get a chance to
Yeah.
really share the sort of the inner workings of why one does what they
Yeah.
do, and do, you do it so well. And one of the keys, as we all know, is when people then say, "Oh, I can do that too," because we make everything look so effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really the key, is making it look like, oh, we just woke up looking like this, and everything was all set up for us already.
That's so
And
funny.
here we are.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But all the blood, sweat, and tears. If you weren't doing this,
Wow.
if you weren't in music and loving it so much, is there is that plan B? Was there something else for you? Like, I loved architecture and design,
Yeah.
but I went into communications, broadcasting, TV, radio, all of that. How about for you?
Well, I mean, I love to write, and I've done quite a bit of writing and on musicology. So I love to write. But really, if you want to know, I'd be gardening. I might have been a landscaper, or the kind of person that
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
gardens.
Yeah.
And because I love working in my own, I could be out there all day, and I just love it. I think I
I'm
inherited.
gonna have to come see it, because I'm a green thumb.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I'm a
inherited.
big green thumb.
She had a definite green thumb, and so so that's. I mean, really, I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but
Yeah.
I never really was any second career, But the writing is very can be very rewarding for me, to letting people know about history and different artists,
Yeah.
especially women, especially
Yes.
lesser known women.
Yeah.
And so I've done a little bit of work in that regard too.
We had, sometimes I use it as a reference because I thought it was fascinating to hear, and I fully understand it. Melissa Manchester was a guest.
Yeah.
Another fantastic person, and iconic, but just a fantastic person.
Yes, yes.
And very warm and affable and funny, and from the Bronx as well, originally. Yes, there's something in the water there too.
Sure.
And Regis Philbin was from there originally too.
That's right.
Talk about great hosts.
Yeah.
We were talking about the songwriting process, and I said to Melissa, I said, what are some of the things that inspire you? I mean, all of these epic songs and this catalog of great material, and still at it and still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
She said, sometimes the inspiration can come from anywhere at a moment's notice. I could be waking up out of a sleep. I could be walking across the living room, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what I need to do, she said, is if I'm getting inspired, I need to get right to the piano and start playing it out, start working it out, whatever's, that energy that's flowing through, that inspiration that's coming in and coming out. I need to get to that piano now. And I have a little recorder next to the piano, and I press record, and I start whatever's happening, capturing it. Because if she said she waits and says, I'll get back to that, or whatever, it dissipates, sometimes disappears. How about you? When you have some inspiration, wherever it is, I mean, you could be at the beach, you could be anywhere. Do you need to capture that as it's happening?
This thing with something called voice memo has been something that's changed everybody's life. Every Nashville songwriter I know does their demos on voice memo. It's just an amazing thing. So you just open it up, you press a little red button, and you start singing or talking, and then you name it, you save it. You can email it to yourself or whatever. Folks, it's fabulous. It's right on the iPhone. That's the thing. You can't wait, because you might, although I do make a joke that I wrote a lot of titles on the new record. I wrote them on napkins, and then you'd wake up in the morning and you'd be like, oh, now I have to write a song with this title. They're pretty great titles. I think, in fact, I was able to come up with some pretty great songs, but I would say the same thing. I would say, don't wait.
Yes.
You'll think you're going to remember it, and you won't remember it.
No, it's really. Do you? Yeah. Pre-pandemic, were you, and now hopefully getting to do more of it, were you able to travel a lot, and did you get a chance to go, not just across the country, but to other countries. Tell us about some of the travel and some of the cool places over the years you've gotten a chance to explore.
Sessions panel, the sessions.org, the Sessions panel is a fabulous all-star group of people that go around to music schools and universities. So we've been in Calabria, in Italy, we've been in Brussels, we've been in Paris, Manchester in the UK, London in the UK. We're slated to go to Australia just before the pandemic. I'm hoping, we'll be able to pick that up again. And so, yeah, we had quite a few trips. I think I'm forgetting a couple of places too. We'd had quite a few trips with them overseas and meeting students. And, in Calabria, we were in a monastery that had been turned into a music school. It was up on the side of a mountain. Unbelievable. And so I've done some wonderful, wonderful things with them in terms of traveling and met some incredible students. We always have a jam session with them and meet with them and sometimes talk to them for hours, seeing what their dreams are, what they think is happening in the world. And of course, pre-pandemic, and I'm sure it might be very different now. Our industry, Jim, as you know, has vastly changed in the pandemic.
Yes,
and
yes.
As opposed to many that did not. Many people just transitioned into working at home, and that was pretty much the same. In our case, the bottom fell out of our industry, and now it's just starting to sort of be built back up again, so, and I know we're all very grateful for that.
Absolutely. Are there places where you haven't traveled yet that are sort of on that bucket list you'd like to perform there? Or?
Honestly, I would have, given what's happening now, I would still love to go to Poland. I would still love to go to Yugoslavia. Some of these places are incredibly, where the Danube River is incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And the Ukraine itself, incredibly artistic. An incredibly artistic country. So the Slavic countries and maybe Northern Africa, Algeria, maybe. Because I've certainly in France also, I've been down on the Mediterranean coast, and it's incredibly beautiful, and you get that Algerian influence,
Oh, yes.
And it made me sort of long for, a Casablanca trip or something like that,
Yeah. So that's on the bucket list, and I think somehow that shall happen.
I think so too.
We got some cool photos. We got some more music too, but I want to show some cool photos of you doing your thing. This is a cool one. I believe this is from Tom Horan took this one.
Tom Horan has taken so many great pictures of us. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
How did you, when you were deciding the look, your look is distinctive. What influenced your look? And because you can always rely on it. It's really, you go and Christine's got the look, the sound, the vibe. There's a consistency. Not that you don't tweak things up, of course, as time goes on, but there's a consistency to it. What, about it? It's really fantastic. I think Irene Liebler took these.
And yes,
nice shot.
Sandy Connolly. At first it was vintage clothing too. It was all vintage. Now it's sort of a mixture. And there's a lot of leopard. Yeah, there's a leopard and the tiger. There's a lot of I say you can never have enough leopard or enough rhinestones, Jim, and they don't ever go out of style,
Right, yes.
Don't ever go out of style. But I would say that it's kind of a little mixture now of some vintage with other pieces, but I have an incredible vintage collection, and I'm lucky to. In Nashville is a place that has some incredibly great and not terribly expensive vintage shopping. So a lot of stuff came from there, but not too even up to the present. But there's a lot of stuff in the Beehive closet. Let me just put it that way. And I have a lot of things that I can choose from. I have someone now that's working on a Moroccan wedding coat. It's all gold.
Wow.
It's very, very, very lightweight. Yeah, there's some more tiger. That's Tom Horan as well. That's
a great shot.
Great shot.
That's
he's working on that for me. And in fact, I'm picking it up this week. And that's going to be something that's going to be shown over the summer. And
is he in New York, Tom? Is he a New York photographer?
He's from Central Connecticut. Yeah.
wow. Very good. Very talented.
Very talented. Hi, Tom, if you're watching.
Yeah,
But,
I might need some new headshots.
well, yeah, he's really good. And last summer, I had almost like a gossamer silk cape that I wore at the Shaboo reunion. And there's going to be another Shaboo reunion in June. And that cape was the source of a lot of fabulous shots that were taken. It was sort of flew out from behind me. It was amazing.
Tell us about that reunion for people that aren't familiar with it. The Shaboo reunion.
Shaboo was a iconic club in Willimantic, Connecticut that burned down in the late 80s, but the community has stayed together because of the founder David Foster's group, the Shaboo All Stars, which also is the Mohegan Sun All Stars. We're at the casino. And in fact, we'll be back there in April for the first time since December 2019. Wow. And so there are various reunions. Last year was the 50th reunion of the founding of the Shaboo.
Yeah.
There's a stage in Willimantic that was put up by David's family. This year will be the 51st. And I'll be there with the Mohegan Sun All Stars. The Shaboo All Stars. I'll also be there with Big Al Anderson. So, that's a little part of Connecticut rock and roll history too, the Shaboo.
That's really, that's really, really cool. See, you learn something, gang, on the Jim Masters Show live every single time. It's an educational show as much as entertaining and fun. Here's another cool shot. Maybe you can take us through these. That's
Eddie Kirkland, the late Eddie Kirkland. Yes. Oh, Eddie was such a great blues artist, and we were very close. I appear on 2 of his records. Eddie, yeah.
Yeah, when you get a chance to work with such great, talented people, you become like a family, right?
Yes. There I am with Cliff Goodwin and Rebel Montez and Michael Colbath on bass. Yeah,
that's another great one.
Yeah.
This is at Cafe 9, right?
It's Cafe 9. That's inside
as well. Yeah,
I think a record we have called Live Hive. I think that a DVD. I think that picture is in there. Yeah.
What a cool shot.
Great iconic room in New Haven. Yeah.
Look at this.
Candy Staten, the soul queen of New Orleans. I mean, I'm sorry. Oh God, Candy, forgive me. Of Muscle Shoals, the soul queen of Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals, yes.
Together, yeah.
Muscle Shoals is not that easy to say.
No.
Even more than once, because everybody wants to say Muscle Shoals.
It's a tongue twister. Tongue twister.
Yeah. You don't want to say it after a couple of ales.
No.
Very, very difficult to say.
Yeah.
So we did a little digging here, Christine, and want to show them some flavor.
Great ones, yeah.
Yes.
You found some great ones.
What was happening here?
No idea. Can't really. It might be the Katharine Hepburn, by the way the backdrop looks behind us. Maybe it might be the Katharine Hepburn. Yeah.
Now, Maureen in Arizona said she wants to know right away. I want to know the secret for getting your hair like that. It's fabulous.
Cool hairspray, Aquanet. So
Aquanet, yes.
Unscented Aquanet in the purple extra hold in the purple can. There's also a blue can and a pink can, but get the purple one. For years I used Adorn, but then they stopped making the unscented Adorn, and I didn't want to walk around smelling like cheap perfume. So I switched to Aquanet. Don't use pump hairspray. It's too heavy, my girl. It's just listen to the Beehive Queen. And, you tease, you pull. You tease, it's done with a rat comb. And you lift it up, you tease, you spray. I poked a giant hole in the ozone layer, I'm not ashamed to say. Over the years, I really have. Oh,
that's in order to, get it to stay up there.
Yeah, because here this is an photo that was treated by J.D. Stone. He does psychedelic poster art. Yeah.
That's really cool, huh?
Yeah. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
That's a really, really cool, like you said, psychedelic.
Love it. Yeah.
Another one, Cliff Goodwin and Montgomery
and Cliff Goodwin. Yeah.
I tell you, it's cool stuff, when you get a chance to look back at some of these things. That's another great shot of you guys.
Dayton.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's just, when you're performing, even if you're performing with somebody for the very first time, and when you really click, it's incredible, isn't it?
It's an incredible rush. And And you come off stage and you really just can't even sleep. It's just it's too good. It's too good.
You couldn't even script it, right? It's so it's like perfection personified. Like this,
we have to ramp ourselves up,
yes,
so to ramp yourself down again, and that can be kind of difficult. But eventually, you get to sleep.
Well, I want to know what kind of ramping up occurred with this lot.
Okay. This was the 25th anniversary of SNL. Okay, so this was upstairs in the Rainbow Room. And they put together a little band with some of the guys from SNL and Paul Schaefer.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Goodman, Danny Aykroyd, and Gary Busey. And here we are just singing something together on one microphone. I forget what the song was. It might have been Mustang Sally or something.
Yeah.
And that was a great night. Yeah. So first we did the show, and then the party was upstairs at the Rainbow Room, the 25th.
That's incredible. Gary Busey, Dan Aykroyd, and John Goodman there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another great shot of you guys.
Yeah. That's Tom Horan. I recognize that shot. Yeah. Yeah. Paul Schaefer.
With Paul Schaefer,
as we call him. Yeah. He's a great friend.
He's great to work with, isn't he? He always, when you would see him, especially on Letterman, but even elsewhere, he just seems to really have such a good time.
Oh my God, he has a great time. He's now becoming known as the Maestro. So we just call him Maestro. Yeah.
Right. Maestro. Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Another great one.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. That's
Tom
beautiful.
Horan again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really captures.
Yep.
Roseanne Cash.
Roseanne Cash at the Rhythm and Roots Festival. Yeah. Together, she called me up. Very, very lovely.
Isn't that cool?
She's a wonderful person. Oh, this is Backstage in Muscle Shoals by the great Nashville photographer Alan Messer.
Really nice.
So fabulous.
Yeah.
He set up a little pop-up studio in an alcove and took pictures of us. Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Here's one with Chick Corea and the whole gang here.
From the sessions, yeah. Chick Corea, the late, and his wife, Gail. His death was very surprising to everyone.
Oh, yes.
Did not expect him to go. That was just a wonderful moment with him. That was in Florida.
Yes, absolutely. And Kathleen in New York's loving the.
Thank you, Kathleen.
loving these fantastic photos here.
Yeah.
That's a great shot too.
That's just sort of a informal one, but we just love the way the colors were. So
yes,
we had a couple of posters. Yeah.
Especially the color on the guitar and then the purple. What's your favorite color, Christine?
I do like purple, but I mean, I wear a lot. I wear a lot of different colors. I'm not that partial to red, honestly.
Right.
Pretty much anything else I'll go with.
All the rest goes well.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's by Bobby Bank of the New York Times. That was at a show in New York City.
That's a great shot.
Bobby's a fabulous photographer. He's one of the staff photographers at the Times.
That outfit's terrific too, huh?
I know. There's more of that animal print. You can never have enough. Here I am with Al. This is Big Al Anderson, and we'll be together in June for a couple of shows.
Oh, you will be? Oh, that's great.
A reunion and 2 nights at the Katharine Hepburn. Yeah.
Oh, the Kate Wright coming up.
Man. And Dave Malone of the Radiators in New Orleans, but this was taken in New York City. Yeah. My last pre-pandemic trip was to sit in with the Radiators at Tipitina's.
Wow.
In January of 2020, before the world stopped.
BB King's.
John Magny of the Subdudes at BB King's, the other great band that came out of New Orleans in the 80s. Subdudes and the Radiators. Yeah.
That's too bad BB King's is gone, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That was a great one.
It was a great club. We were sorry to see that one go.
Yeah. Another great shot.
This is, I forget, was maybe in Hamden. I think this was at a festival in Hamden, Connecticut. Yeah.
That's a great outfit.
Yeah. Lame.
Yes. Now that guitar, I see you with that guitar quite a bit. That's a personal favorite. Tell us about that guitar.
45.
Yeah.
Gibson 45. Yeah. Wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, this one.
This was from something called Swine Fever, which was on SNL. It was a skit called Swine Fever, and we recorded this at the Rodeo Bar in New York City as part of the fake advertisement. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. It's so funny. There's Al again. Yeah.
That's a cool shot.
Oh yeah. We love that. Oh, on stage at Carnegie Hall with Ian Hunter. This was
yes.
Rolling Stones. Yeah. Tribute to the Rolling Stones. I think we're doing 19th Nervous Breakdown.
Have you had an opportunity to grace the stage at Carnegie Hall several times?
No, this was really the only time.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? I've had the pleasure of emceeing there.
Oh, wait, there was one other time. It's an unbelievable. The acoustics are just unbelievable.
Yes, and their crew is so like exacting. You know, the guys in the back, they're just really great to work with and all.
Completely fabulous.
That's a great memorable moment there too. And this is Saturday Night Live too, right?
On stage. Yeah, that's James Genus, the bass player behind me. He's James Genus. He is a genius. Yeah, it's fabulous.
That is cool.
Okay. Dr. John. Yeah, Mac Rebenak, the late great, very, very close friend. So many shows together. This was something for the New Orleans Musicians Clinic. It was an evening of duets, just the two of us at someone's house, and people donated huge amounts of money, which was lovely.
Oh, that's nice when they do that, right?
Yeah.
Causes and helping, giving back is so important.
Sure.
It's a cool shot too.
Somewhere, I don't remember.
I know so many places, right? What city are we in today, gang?
Oh, no, I don't remember.
This says July 2009.
Yeah, I don't remember. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
I do not.
There's another. That's the stage of Saturday Night Live.
See what it looks like. Yeah.
Yes.
And at Christmas we refer to it as World of Poinsettias. You can see there's probably 100 poinsettia plants up there.
Really cool.
Try not to trip over. Yeah.
This one I like too.
Oh yeah, this is the Shaboo stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shaboo stage, and that's a dress is by it's a vintage dress by a designer named Albert Shaheen. It's hand painted.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's hand painted.
Any folks that you would love to do like a duet with that you haven't yet?
Mavis Staples, I know her, and I would love to. Mavis Staples. I mean, Candy Staton was Candy is a friend of mine now in Muscle Shoals. That was sort of a dream because she's just the most wonderful singer. I've sung with Irma Thomas in New Orleans, but I would Candy, if you can hear me,
Candy, you're a lovity.
Love to sing with her. She's such a force of nature, but really I've sung with so many people. It's pretty unbelievable at this point,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's not a lot left. Yeah, here we are. This is New Hampton, Connecticut. I remember that gig. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Some big thing.
This is Delray Beach.
Delray Beach. This is the NYC Hit Squad. Yeah. This is a side project that we have with Ricky Byrd and Liberty DeVito, Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge on the end, Kazim Sultan, and Richie Supa, who co-wrote a lot of songs with Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. That's the Hit Squad. Yeah.
Really cool. I saw this one with the umbrella. It's a really artsy.
We're making a video for an Andrew Loog Oldham song that I recorded that we're hoping is going to be able to be on the new record. And that this was part of it. It was actually raining. And so I said, put up this umbrella, and the umbrella, which is a leopard umbrella, just caught the light just right. Oh, that's wonderful that you have that. That's great. It's a great.
Is that in the city?
Yes, and it's actually a still shot from the video, Jim. It's not the still shot that someone captured. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Somewhere in the city. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those like
downtown. Looks like it's way downtown.
It's almost sort of Breakfast at Tiffany's or something. It's got sort of that.
It is really. Yeah.
That's sort of vibe. We've got another one here that we're going to play. It's cutting off the full title, but it's The Cradle Did.
The Cradle Did Rock. This is the one in the New Orleans homage. Yeah.
So we're going to play that because we want them to hear some more of your incredible dulcet tones, my friend. Okay. And then we'll come back. Here's another cool one for you guys. Get ready to go. My special guest on the Jim Masters Show Live is the one and only Christine Ohlman. I am Jim Masters. And here we go. Here's more. Mighty nice.
Emotional, that Mardi Gras, and so much devastation down there. And I'm one of the national spokespeople for the New Orleans Musicians Clinic.
Oh,
And,
you are? I didn't know that. Wow, that's great.
you know, they could still use a lot of help down there with the musicians, and COVID, you know, taking a lot of toll on them. So
Yes.
New Orleans Musicians Clinic, check it out. They have a wonderful website, and you could easily donate. I know there's a lot of things you could donate to now, you know.
Yes.
But,
I just got a box from one of our lovelies. It's the second box from Mona in New Orleans.
yeah.
She sends me all of these coffees and these rubs and these spices from New Orleans. And the box just arrived today. It's a second shipment of it.
Time,
like her family has a restaurant there, so they, you know, make it all and send it. And I have a cousin. You have a cousin from New Orleans too. It's a great
baby. Yeah.
John Baptiste is from there as well.
His family is like the Nevilles. They're very, very, you know, very well known in the city. And there was general jubilation when John got the gig with Stephen Colbert.
Such a nice guy. Just he's another one that's so into it. You know what I mean? It's very infectious. You know what I mean? If you're having a bad day, just watch him and or you, and it's the same thing. Rock on, Christine from Christine in North Carolina.
Yes, hey.
Wowza from Sherry in Kansas. Mary in Florida. Great song, great voice. Maureen, dang, that was just incredible. Clap, clap, clap. Anne in Southern California, multiple claps coming in here. Kathleen in the city in New York. You're so talented, Christine. Merlin in Canada. I wish you could hear us clapping. Clap, 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 which is really, really awesome. Jane, who's watching in Sweden.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank
you. She watches all the time in Sweden, where it's really late at night now. Wonderful song, strong voice. Merlin, I absolutely love your sound. From Canada. Nikki says deep with that song, and lots of hearts and all kinds of cool stuff coming in from Jane as well. And Tony says love that song as well. You know, it's cool when you hear from, you know, I know that's sort of like the icing on the cake a little bit when you create the work, you do your thing, and then people actually resonate with it. And what's really interesting about the process, right, is, you know, you might have a thought as far as what a song to you means and what you hope people get out of it, but then they take it and they sort of make it their own. They sort of plug in and connect certain elements of themselves relating to you and the song, but then there's certain things about the song that they connect with in their own life, and it gives it a whole new life, right?
Yes, as a songwriter, you have to let go of it. You have to let it out to the audience. That's why you wrote it. I mean, if you just wrote it for yourself, then stay in your bedroom, I say. You know, once it's out there, it belongs to the public, and they can really relate to it any way they want. Exactly. And you would hope they would.
Right, exactly. And that's really a cool thing. I mean, when you get that, and I'm sure a lot of people, you know, always sort of let you know what the songs mean to them. You know, if you're interpreting, you know, other people's music, it's the same thing. Merlin says, I hope you feel the love. Absolutely.
Merlin. Thank you.
You have some cool things that are also coming up, right? Tell us about, I'm fascinated about the documentary. I think it was Boston where you were.
James
This
Cotton.
Is really fantastic. Is this still in production?
It's called Bonnie Blue. Yes, it's still in production. They're fundraising for it. You know, it takes a lot of money to finish a documentary film.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so they're still working on the fundraising. Most of the filming is done, and again, you know, it was kind of held up by the pandemic, because what could you really do? Thankfully, we had all gotten together just before the pandemic and done all these, you know, these 2 nights of filming, which really sort of put a capper on the live performance part of it. Now they have to, you know, there's a lot of footage of James Cotton coming up, of course, and he has been deceased for a few years now, not that long. So we're really hoping that, you know, he was a wonderful, wonderful part of music in this part of the country, but around the world. So that's coming up on the middle of the middle of April. I'll be down in Muscle Shoals to tribute the great drummer Roger Hawkins, who played on every from Respect by Aretha, you know, to Sitting in Limbo by Jimmy Cliff, and so many other, you know, tracks. A Kodachrome by Paul Simon. We'll be playing about 23 songs that Roger played on, different vocalists from Muscle Shoals and as far away as Bonnie Bramlett's coming from East St. Louis. Some people are coming from Atlanta, and all the drummers will be playing Roger's charts. So it'll really be a drummer's showcase for Roger Hawkins.
Wow.
And then we swing into the summer, you know, tour schedule, and we'll be going around, you know, in the Northeast. We'll be going around, and we're just adding more dates all the time. You can go to ChristineOhlman.net and or join me on Facebook, and also my music page is the Beehive Queen on Instagram. I'm the _Beehive_Queen, and I'm the Beehive Queen, Jim. That's what I am. So.
Yes, you are. Yes, you absolutely are. And you know, I didn't know. I think it's very cool that you were one of the early writers for the All Music Guide, because that thing is such an incredible reference. It's the encyclopedia of everything. What was that like? How'd that happen for you?
Friend Cub Coda got me into it. He was a great musicologist from Detroit. And at first it was just a series of books. At first it was one book, and there was a soul music section. And he said, you know, they need people to write, you know, emotional, you know, entries about some soul music people. So I wrote the entry for Otis Redding, and I mean, I did 30 of them, and then they just kept asking me, so I just kept writing for them for a while. Then it kind of morphed into a series of books. Now I'm not sure. I'm sure you can still get the books, but I think it's just a huge website at this point. It's a gigantic website.
That's what it is, right? Exactly.
Yes, but the books were encyclopedic. They were very thick and very heavy. And it was really a labor of love by the couple of guys that were putting it together, you know.
Yeah.
And so this was at the time when, well, it was after CDs came on the scene, but they hadn't been on the scene that long. So it was maybe the early 90s. And you know, we just started churning out bio after bio. It was no such thing as Wikipedia.
No.
We're churning out bio after bio of these guys, little thumbnail bios, and then we're talking about their most influential records. And that was really the gig.
That's incredible.
Happy to do it.
What was the feeling like for you, Christine, when you got inducted into the National Blues Hall of Fame of American Heritage?
Well, I'm always never-endingly surprised, because I don't think of myself as a blues artist. So, but it was lovely that they thought enough about it to induct me, and I wasn't going to argue. I you know, don't, strictly speaking, sing the blues, although I do sometimes. If I'm guesting with James Montgomery, you know, I'll sing the blues, and I love the blues, but my band is by no means a blues band. The blues is an ever-evolving, really important part of American culture, and it's something that we gave to the world along with jazz, and I am proud to be considered, you know, as someone that would be part of a National Hall of Fame. It was really very emotional for me when I was inducted. Very
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just have the opportunity to have that, you know, happen. It's just, you know, it's a feather in the cap, but it's something that you didn't expect. And then when it comes your way,
didn't expect it at all.
It's sort of like the icing on the cake. Yeah. You've had the opportunity to work with some other fantastic people too: Steve Miller, Al Green, Smokey Robinson, Bonnie Raitt, Bruce Springsteen, the late George Harrison. Cool stuff, huh?
Yes, very cool. Very, very cool. I'm never-endingly grateful. Never-endingly grateful.
Yes, yes, and that's what's great. And you know, you're also you've done things with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well, too, right? Tell us about some of those projects.
Well, I've appeared at the Cleveland Hall, which is every 5 years they bring it back to Cleveland.
Right.
And also, I'm technically, before COVID, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame house band. So that's something that we do. There would be isolated gigs for that, usually charity gigs. And, you know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame also more or less operates on a shoestring, folks. It may look like they have lots of money, but that's because HBO, you know, HBO runs all of their induction.
So it looks very, yeah.
Like it's very well supported, but the city of Cleveland's in trouble, let me tell you. So, you know, if you're thinking about taking a road trip, it's nice to visit there and throw some money, buy some souvenirs, and see some really great stuff. It's a wonderful, wonderful museum.
Yeah.
And the hall itself, you know. So, yeah, it's cool, you know. I mean, if I had my druthers, I'd wish that they would continue to induct some more historic people. But of course, because HBO is broadcasting the induction, they need to have current acts that have at least 25 years. That's their criterion. So that's how you get the Foo Fighters, you know, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which not that they don't, you know, but there are still some great historic figures that aren't inducted yet. So I'm ever hopeful.
Why do you love what you do so much? Obviously, you've got a lot of blessing and joy in your life. And, you know, like I said earlier, one of the keys to all of this is to make it look easy, because when the consumers, the listeners, the people who are buying the tickets and buying the music, you know, they want to be taken away from their troubles, taken away from the problems and the chaos of everyday life. So, and you're cognizant of that, and you want to give them a good vibe and a good feel about themselves, and just have them feel like re-energized about life, which is a really cool thing to do. Where does all that blessing and joy come from inside you?
Well, like I said before, it really comes down to wanting to connect. My whole life, I've really been able to do that. You know, I'm not really sure where it comes from. It is a blessing for sure. I'm not really sure where it comes from, but I will say that I'm grateful. That's a word that I use a lot. I'm just really grateful, and it makes me want to certainly keep doing it, you know, and keep connecting as often as I can, and in as many ways as I can. I just was up at the Institute for the Musical Arts north of Northampton. I serve on their board, and that's the rock and roll camp for girls in the summer. And I'll be up there and with, you know, girls as young as 14, making bands and writing songs and playing together and empowering themselves with music. And so that's something that's really important to me as well. It can be, I think music can be very empowering, Jim, as well as very healing. And so it's something that we really desperately need right now for all of us.
You know, you're mentioning educating and mentoring and teaching others. That's something that you like to do, right? You like to pay it forward and show others, you know, the way with the vocal lessons and just everything else that you're a part of, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very important to lift each other up.
Yes.
These are hard times, and anybody that is kidding themselves to think that they're not, they are, but there's lots that we can do to triumph over it. And the arts are one of the main ways we do that. You know, not just music, but dance and painting and photography and spoken word that you do, and opening wide, you know, the wider door of the world that you do in your travel and entertainment shows. It's very, very, very important to feed your soul with the aesthetic part of life, I think.
You know, it's really cool is as we are feeding others, we're being fed too.
That's right.
Right? It's full circle, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. That's a very, very, very good point. And so there's much to be grateful for, even at a time like this. There's much to be grateful for. And I want to say to everybody that's watching, you know, be good to yourselves, and then be good to the wider world.
We need one another. We have to take care of one another, look out for one another. You know, I keep saying, I've said it multiple times in this series, that I'm hoping, you know, out of everything that we've gone through the last 2 years or so, that we sort of rise from the ashes more loving and kind and empathetic and more collaborative and unified, because the world, the earth, spins a lot smoother on its axis when we are all sort of pitching in and looking out for one another with a little bit more empathy. I think we need a dose or two of that.
That's a wonderful way to put it, Jim. I love that.
Well, somebody else that was a big believer in that who's joining us is Mr. George Burns.
Oh, George.
This everybody laughs when this pops up towards the latter part. He's got his cigar, and
amazing. That's true.
I wonder if he ever made it through SNL. I'm sure he's been at NBC multiple times, but
for me, if he did, but
yeah,
they did have some of the old timers early on, I think. Yeah.
One of my mother, remember I was mentioning my mother, the youngest of 16, and one of my mother's sisters, Lillian, collected dolls. And when he turned 100, she made sure she ran out and got the collector's edition of the George Burns doll. So it got passed down to me. Yeah. So I put it on once, 2 years ago, I put it on the show, and everybody was like, oh my God, we love George Burns. So now he comes on and he said, you just really knocked it out of the park, and you were amazing on the show tonight, Christine.
Well, thank you. He makes a little appearance. I love it. He's one of the best that ever was.
Isn't that cool? And he played God too. So we got God on our side.
He played God in the best timing of anybody.
So here's the website, ChristineOhlman.net, and again on all the social media and all the usual places as well. And reverbnation.com/Christine Ohlman, and of course YouTube and Amazon and Instagram as well. And your music, if people want to get your music, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere.
Yeah. Consider downloading it. I mean, I love that it's on Spotify, and I love that you can play it. Alexa will play it for you, but consider downloading it, or maybe even buying a old school CD there.
I love that.
And
yes.
Also on the website, we have our Got Hive t-shirts. You have Lovedies, we have Hivesters, so we have our Got Hive t-shirts at ChristineOhlman.net.
That is so cool. I love that. Hey, I was saying too the other night, one of the guests, we were talking about vinyl and cassettes, and I have tons of cassettes. I have a climate controlled storage unit that we pay monthly for that has hundreds of sealed LPs, reel-to-reel, cassettes, CDs, and of course my career stuff too. So you want to preserve it there. But I still have the Onkyo turntable, receiver, double cassette deck, KLH speakers. Because when I listen to my music, I like my music to not be shoved into my ears with little earphones.
You need speakers.
Speakers, and I like it to bounce off the walls and flow through the room or through the house. I like when it comes sometimes from behind me and sweeps over and just really fills the room. And there's just something about that that is great. And it's nice to see vinyl coming back. Would you ever consider putting any of your stuff on vinyl?
The new record will be on vinyl, we're sure.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And also at the gigs, folks, we're selling some vintage scratch band vinyl and even fancy vinyl. So we'll be, as long as it's not a gig where it's 100 degrees, we'll have that stuff out on the merch table. So
cool. I want to show you just a couple of quick things. Tony says, and you're very welcome, gang. And everybody who's just watching quietly, we get our lovedies who comment. We have so many people that watch quietly. And then you can see this entire episode and about 650 more of the Jim Masters Show live series right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You can binge watch. Tony says, this was fantastic. Thank you. And yes, the t-shirts are beautiful.
Because she'll be at the merch table.
Thanks, Christine. Great conversation and music from Mary, who's one of our faithful lovedies, watching in Florida, Pine Island, Florida. Jane in Sweden. Thanks, Christine, for joining us tonight. Great show. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure, and Christine's pleasure as well. Thank you so much for being here from Merlin in Ontario. Hearts, hearts, hearts. You be safe and take care. Maureen in Arizona. Christine, this was a fascinating conversation. I really love your music. Thank you for being with us in Lovedy Hall tonight, and welcome to the Lovedy Squad. You're now a Lovedy.
Yeah, that's the coolest.
You're a JMS Lovedy. Like I say to everybody, there's Grammys, Tonys, Oscars, Emmys, Peabodys, Tellys. But how does it feel to get a JMS Lovedy? Are your feet tingling?
Yes, they are. I'm just going to say that.
That's it. Nikki says, so glad you joined us, Christine.
You,
really, really nice. Sherry Larson. Thank you, Christine, for being with us tonight. Love your voice. Kathleen in New York City. Thank you for being here, Christine. Welcome to our lovely family. You are a great talent. I absolutely agree. And some of you might even be discovering for the very first time. Maureen says, indeed, kindness starts with being kind to yourself.
Self-care.
That is really, do you ever get a chance to do that? I mean, because you're always doing your thing.
Big on self-care, Jim.
Yes.
I wouldn't,
you have
totally.
Before we go, what do you do to re-energize? So what is your Zen? What is the counter to being out there in the public eye doing your thing? See, for me, and we're lucky we're not far from the water, I'm an ocean person. So I like to go by the swim, surf, boogie board and get near that ocean. How about you? What's Zen for you?
But gardening, walking, walking around. I have a lot of acreage here. Walking. Oh, thank you, Merlin. Walking and also just reading. I love to read. Reading is very restorative for me. It feeds my imagination and relaxes me.
That is cool. Well, I tell you, my friend, this was really spectacular. And I'm so glad you had an opportunity to pop in. I know you're very busy, got a lot going on. You were able to squeeze some time in with all of us. And it was good to catch up with you again. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
And thank you. And thank you to all the Lovities as well. Thank you.
Oh, wasn't it terrific? Yeah, it was just nice just catching up and seeing what you're up to and just looking back sort of a little bit at some of the cool things that you've had an opportunity to be a part of. And is Saturday Night Live done for the season or are they still
shows? Yeah.
They have a few more?
And then it's done at sort of almost the end of May. It'll be done.
So will you be on this Saturday night?
Well, it's coming up Saturday night. Yeah.
So you'll be there
live again Saturday night. Yeah.
Cool. So look for Christine.
This time of year, you feel that winding down.
Yes.
the writers are all pretty fried at this point.
It's got to be. Yes. So check your NBC affiliate in your city and you'll see this lovely lady gracing your screen at 11:30 on Saturday nights.
Yeah, thank you.
You're the best, Christine. Thanks for all the time. Really, I truly hope you had as much fun with me as I have with you.
I sure did. And thank you so much to everyone. And, thanks for having me.
Mel Hutt 65. I've always loved you during my years on SNL.
Oh, nice.
All my best to you.
Yes. How wonderful. Hi.
From Melanie.
Yeah. Oh my God, Melanie. So
tell our audience who we have here. Yeah.
Melanie Hutzel, who was there when I first started. Once I sang, she did the Canadian singer. And you know who I'm talking about. She had all these hits. She was singing the national, Oh, Canada.
Oh, and yes.
Snowbird. What was her name, Jim? And
oh, yes. I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, Melanie was playing her, and I sang Oh, Canada behind her at a hockey game. And meanwhile, she was getting mud, was like getting slung at her. And of course, it was all live, Yeah. So, Mel. Oh, it's good to see your face, your beautiful face. Thank you.
How long did you guys work together?
As long as she was on the cast. She came into the cast while I was there.
Anne Murray.
Anne Murray, yes, Anne Murray.
Yes, because Mel said it and Maureen said it.
So we're singing. We're doing Oh Canada, and the hockey players are like, there's mud and there's all this other stuff being thrown around. I think Mike Myers was in the skit. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Thing I remember about Mel, but she had some wonderful characters. God bless, baby.
Oh, that's cool. See, you never know who stops by.
You never do. It's wonderful.
The Jim Masters Show live. Really awesome. You're the best, my friend. I hope to see you again really soon. And she was there 91 through 94.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah.
That was just 10 minutes ago, right?
Yes, my 91 was my first year too. So Mel, you and I were SNL babies together. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Mel, and everybody. Thanks, my friend. Again, really a blessing to have you here. We'll keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back to join us anytime.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you in the flesh real soon. Okay.
Me too. Rock on, everybody, from the Beehive.
From the Beehive to Lovely Hall. You got it. High five. Boom. You did. I know. It's like, where do I go? It's a whole new world, isn't it? It's a whole new world. You take care, my friend. All right.
All right.
Thanks for being with us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The one and only. Yes. Isn't she a class act? I told you guys, she's really a spirited, passionate, talented person, and humble too. When she's on stage, she's doing her thing, but really she's very humble and gracious and affable, and I knew you guys would really love her being on the show, because we have such a variety of incredible guests from Broadway and Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, comedy, sports, culinary arts, inspiration, all aspects of life, celebrity friends that drop by, all kinds of cool folk. And this is really great. This is your first time here. Well, guess what? There's over 600 plus episodes of our series. Yes, which is hard to believe. We've done that amount of talking since we launched this show in April of 2020, coming up on our 2-year anniversary, which is unbelievable. Hey, did you catch the episode where Jerry Mathers was with us? Yes, the Beeve from Leave It to Beaver. We had an epic conversation. You can see that episode on our YouTube channel. Also, the Pointer Sisters were here too. Anita and Ruth Pointer were with us here on the show. As I mentioned, Melissa Manchester was with us on the show as well. On and on. Marion Ross from Happy Days was with us. But this episode, this is really exclusive. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, or as I call them, not even interviews. We have conversations here. We don't do interviews. These are just flowing conversations. Coming up on Wednesday, I want to let you know, award-winning lyricist and librettist, the Algonquin Kid, Michael Colby, who's responsible for so many shows and musicals and so much more. He is making a return visit to us here on Wednesday, and that's going to be really, really cool. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then coming up on Thursday, renowned cartoonist, animator, filmmaker, and graphic designer Bill Plimpton is going to be with us here on the show. And he's going to be showing us some of his newest cartoons, animations, films, and graphic designs live and direct from New York City. That's going to be amazing. We thank our friend, the Beehive Queen herself, acclaimed singer and songwriter from Saturday Night Live Band, and of course her own brilliant solo career, the one and only Christine Ohlman, joining us here live on the Jim Master Show Live. And again, there's that cool picture. This was taken actually in Guilford, Connecticut, and it's a great shot. And we're having a ball with everybody there. And this was at the Celtic Rock Irish Festival, and she was a headliner with a lot of other great talent. And I happened to be a co-master of ceremonies with a colleague with the ABC station, WTNH actually, Channel 8, and it was Kristen Crusado. And we had just had a great time. And that picture was just 10 minutes ago as well. Not that long ago, just a few years ago. And have a wonderful evening, everyone. Much love to all of you from Ann in Southern California. Thank you very much. Again, we say this to those that are watching live, but I also want to acknowledge those of you who are not watching live right now. You're watching this in the replay, the re-air. If you want to see this episode again, or any of the episodes, all of them are for your enjoyment and binge watching right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. Just click that red button there. The channel is Jim Masters TV. The show is the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a hearty like. There's a like icon there, like a thumbs up on the YouTube channel underneath all the episodes. Give it a hearty thumbs up, like, and leave a comment on the channel too underneath the episode. That helps us big time. YouTube likes to see that, and when they see that activity, they take the episodes and they beam them out even further around the world, which is really, really cool and really, really nice. Gang, you're the best. We've got such a great audience. Very proactive audience that watches from literally all around the world. Thanks for all these great comments. Jane with us here in Sweden. Good night, everyone. And Jim, you as well. And Kathleen in New York City. Great show, Jim. Thank you. My pleasure. Nikki, thanks to you, Jim. I can't see everything now, but I wish all lovelies a great night, early morning, etc. Yes, so you'll be doing some binge watching too, which is fantastic. Thank you for Jim for another fantastic evening. Christine, wonderful. Merla says, what a firecracker. And Mel Hutt, really cool to have you here. Welcome to our show. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show live. And I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and join us with all these great guests and all this cool stuff. Maybe you might want to pop on and be a guest and talk about your years with Saturday Night Live. That'd be really, really cool. And Maureen, and we welcome anybody new, whether you're commenting as one of our lovelies or you're just watching this later on, we welcome you as well. What a fun person Christine is. It wouldn't be a hoot to be in her audience. Yes, I've emceed a concert for her and for a bunch of other fantastic talent with the Celtic Rock concert, and she is amazing. Mona, thank you very much for being here as well. Hi, Jim and Lovelies. Oh, yes, we talked a lot about New Orleans, too. You'll have to watch this episode. We talked a lot about New Orleans. Well, Christine has been there many, many times. And I mentioned the fabulous spices that you sent and everything. That box arrived. Thank you so much. I'm loving everything in that box. That shipment arrived. We got it at the post office. And thank you, Mona, for those fabulous treats coming from Louisiana. You're such a beautiful person. Mona says, hi, Jim and Lovelies. Look like I missed a great show. Gonna have to watch the replay. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Well, good night, Jim and Lovelies. Hugs and love to all. We did have a great weekend. Yes, absolutely. Good to see you, Mona. And Kathleen, have a great night, Jim. Good night, everyone. Again, we say this good night thing for the live audience. But if you're not watching live, you're watching this later on, stay right here on our YouTube channel. Another great episode is right here coming up next for you on our YouTube channel. Have a great evening. You too as well, Mona and Kathleen, and everybody's saying the same. It's kind of like the Waltons here. Everybody's saying, good wishes to each other in chat. Thanks for a wonderful show with Christine. She really has had quite a career. Yeah, if you watch Saturday Night Live, this Saturday, she'll be there on stage with the Saturday Night Live band, as she has been since the early 90s. Can you imagine that? What a great run on NBC on a legendary series as Saturday Night Live, and to be in the band. Really, really cool. And sharing the music with us, her fun stories. You as well, Christine. It's always good to see you. Glad you guys could be with us live. And again, any of you who are watching this later on in the archives, that's cool too. That is cool too. Thank you as well, Sherry. Have a wonderful evening and Tuesday. Love and hugs. You guys as well. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'll be actually up in Boston all day tomorrow and throughout Massachusetts with the television crew. And we're going to be doing a lot of filming and hosting and producing segments for the travel TV series we do on CBS. So I wear a lot of hats, host a lot of different shows, TV shows and radio shows. So I'll be away, and we'll be up in Boston, Massachusetts and Worcester, Massachusetts, and that area with the crew filming and on location. But we will be back for the live audience. We'll be back on Wednesday. And again, another great show. Michael Colby's going to be here. He's amazing. A lot of great music, a lot of cool things. And Thursday, renowned cartoonist, animator, filmmaker, graphic designer Bill Plimpton's going to be here. He is amazing. And I think you're going to love it. One more time, we thank the one and only Christine Ohlman for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series exclusively. Really a cool show, right? Thanks for being with us, everybody. We thank you all for being here. We don't say goodbye around here. We never say goodbye. We say see you later, and cheers, and slancha, and ciao, and shalom, and alvida zain, and sayonara, and all the rest. But we don't say goodbye, because we will be here, and we'll be here waiting for all of you. Cool show, fun show with all of you, gang. Thanks for being with us. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you and you and you and you for your time this time till next time. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know on the planet about this community we've created, this cool show with over 600 episodes that we call the Jim Masters Show Live. Something very, very special here. Yes, like Christine says, it's global levity. It's not just an interview show or just a show where we just throw up videos and that's it onto the internet. We have a good time. We do this like a TV series. That's how we really do it. We do this like a television show, which is kind of cool. You as well, Sherry. TTFN, everyone. You too, Maureen. And Anne, good to see you as well. And everybody, global levity, absolutely. TTFN, you guys are great. Good to see everybody, welcoming everybody that's new and everybody that watches later on in the archives. We love you guys as well. Thanks for being with us. All right, you're the best. We really love having you guys here. Yes, it's coming. It's very exciting. It's coming. We have somebody that is designing it all, and they're going to ship it for us. This is going to be really nice. We wanted to find somebody, a company that can handle it, because we have the logo already designed. You guys know the logo, right? Our famous Jim Masters Show logo, which cost a pretty penny. It was custom designed by an illustrator who is renowned and who was, at the time he designed that logo there that you see on everything, he was working on the cover of Aerosmith's album and everything else. And then, so we got the logos and everything created. And then we had the new open and close created. And we had to have that animated. So his daughter is an animator, and she does animations for The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, and others. So she animated our show open to bring it to life. But there is, of course, our logo. And we're going to have that on lots of cool swag coming up very, very soon for you guys. Yeah, long form girls. Yeah, I said I like long form conversations and things like that. Nikki's laughing. You guys are funny. All right, gang. Class dismissed. And I think it's really cool that Christine also does vocal lessons and she teaches others as well. I think that's so cool, to give back like that. I think that's just absolutely awesome. All right. And she likes to garden too. See, you learn something new every day here on the show. So we thank once again Christine for joining us here on the show. She's a hoot and a holler and true class act and legendary in the industry as well. And we thank you for being with us. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Binge watch our episodes. Share the links on your social media, the YouTube episode links. Put them on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Share. Tell everybody you know. Don't keep it a secret. The Jim Masters Show Live. Tell others. Let's have a continued global levity situation here, like Christine said. Global levity. And Jen pops in. Fun show tonight. That's right. Yes, send us your kid pictures, because we're working on a special episode of our show. Send to us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com one photo of when you were a kid. Could be any age. It could be an infant in a bassinet. You could be 5 years old, 12 years old. But we're going to do a special show celebrating our childhoods. So we're looking for our viewers to send in to us one photo, your favorite one, of you as a kid, and send it to us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Several of you have already sent in some really cool photos of you when you were a kid. Jen has as well. I believe Merlin has sent one in. I believe Maureen has sent one in. So again, be sure and do that. Don't forget, we also have a Facebook group for this show, The Jim Masters Show. Levity Hall is the group on Facebook. You can find me. Yes, you did. And Kathleen is looking for hers, and Ann. So yeah, send us your childhood photo, your favorite one. We're going to take a look at all those in a special episode that we're working on coming up soon. So we're going to wait for people to send them in. You can email them to us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Again, that's at the time of this show now. If you're watching this show 2 years from now, well, that might have already been passed, so that you can just watch the episode. It will have already been done. But we're going to have some fun. We like to bring you guys into the mix. as much as we can here on the Jim Masters Show Live. All right, gang. You can also find me on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Jim Masters TV. Like, follow, subscribe, love it. And of course, the YouTube channel is where we have our series, the Jim Masters Show Live. Love you all. Take care. Be well. And we'll see you on the next one, okay? Thanks to you, and you from all around the world. Thanks for watching this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. Be well, take care, love one another, be good to one another, and cheers.